Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, I don't know when last I said that particular phrase and that particular intro. I'm amazed that I actually got it nailed on. But welcome to the show, guys, because we've just been talking reviews, previews, podcasts, and interviews. That's all we've been doing lately. We haven't really been doing much of these daily shows, and we've kind of replaced the daily show with the reviews and the preview shows. So thank you for joining us. Today's obviously topic is going to be about Mark Boucher's press conference, and I've obviously got the writer that went to this. I'm obviously a close friend of ours now, and a guy that you will know very well. He went to the press conference while we were doing our review of the match, and he's going to give us some insights into what it was like, what he picked up, what were some of the good things that were said, what are the bad things were said. But before we get going to the guys, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please do so. You just have to click that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notifications of all future videos. But before I bring on a buy, I just let it loose on who's coming on the show. But before I let you know about a buy and bring a buy on the show, let me just play you a quick clip of Mark Boucher's press conference. So here's what Mark Boucher had to say. I just took a couple of clips that I thought stood out to me.
Yeah, I think so. A guy like George Linder has been a transfer for his country, and I thought he played really nicely. Puff had a good series of the bats. I think Rusty had a decent series of the bats as well. He's some good knocks today. The guys I think are difficult to say when we're playing against a good batting lineup like that. Our bowlers really tested, especially today. But yeah, there were one or two in the series. It's always difficult to look at positives when you lose 3-0, but I think those would be the positives going forward. Well, it is very short. We've also got a different squad, so it'd be a couple of fresh faces, some youngsters coming in as well. So we'll feed off that. We understand this is not a short journey; it's a long journey. We'll keep learning. We are getting tested against a very good team, and that's how we want to get tested as well. If it's going to expose a few weaknesses that we have got, then that's a good thing, I think. That's stuff for us to work on and improve on. So no, I don't see it being a problem for us to turn everything around in a short period of time. I don't know about the other teams. We haven't played cricket in quite some time. The two series that we've played have been against England and against Australia. We lost to England. We beat Australia in the one-days. So in the T20s, we lost to them, and now we played against England again. So it's two very good teams. It's difficult to determine where we are amongst the other teams in the world. But I think it's shown now that we've got a lot of work to do in order to catch up to these two teams. And like I said, they are two of the best teams in the world. So we are getting exposed a bit in certain departments, and I think that's a good thing because it's something to work on. Yeah, I'd say a bit of rustiness. We didn't have the ideal preparation. We had to cancel sort of 3 of our warm-up games. But in saying that, I thought we did what we could, with regards to our training and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it was a bit of rustiness, but we're not looking for excuses. We've got to man up, and we've got to face the facts that we lost 3-0. We've got a determined group of guys there who want to learn and want to learn quickly and want to compete to the world's best, and that's the positive I can take out of the dressing room at the moment.
So cool, guys. I've got my 2 partners on. I don't think I expected to see a Ravi's face today.
Wasn't surprised.
But welcome. So let's get into this discussion, and we already got some comments in the comment section, and I'm going to get to them soon. So don't leave the stream. Let me answer your questions, please, guys. Abai, give us your quick summary, because I think what I took out of that particular press conference over there is the fact that he's saying that it was a good lesson to learn, learning against the best team in the world. And it was you can take positives out of it. Basically, that's what he's trying to say, and that we played against the 2 best teams in the world, kind of in a way, in the T20 formats, and both times we lost, and we're going to learn a lot from that. But mainly from your perspective, you sitting in that press, of course. So what was the main talking points, would you say?
Okay, well, first of all, I think right from the outset we can say that Boucher was already resigned to the fact that South Africa played a much better team. Like we know that England have been a very strong force in limited overs cricket for more than a couple of years. So naturally, it was always going to be a bit of a challenge to win the series. And I like how Boucher said every time we play to win. But on this occasion, even though there was quite a bit of rustiness, he insisted that the rustiness isn't any sort of excuse, and that even though he knows that the learning curve is pretty steep, we can take positives from this going forward.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about his talk about the ODIs? Because obviously there's a completely different squad that's probably going to play, or completely different team that's probably going to play for the ODIs. What did he speak about with regards to the next games?
So, from my understanding, I think the 24-player squad was named to cover both formats. But from what I heard from him, it looks like it'll be a completely different combination of players from that squad. So I think out of the names, out of the gameless players so far, like Kyle Verreynne, for example, a couple of others that aren't coming to my head right now, but we're likely to see more newcomers over the course of the next 3 games. So that's what he was hinting at.
Yeah, I was okay with this press conference. I wasn't as upset as I thought I'd be, because I thought he's just going to maybe lay back and just protect the players, but he didn't. He mentioned specifically that there are some places where we lacked, and he said that there were small little margins where we lost the games. We were quite on top of the first 2 games, he said.
Right.
He did, and he also admitted that maybe not in this game where we lost by 9 wickets, where we were beaten significantly, but he said there were some positives to take out of each game and some learnings to take out of each game. And maybe that's how the fans should look at it too, because we are rebuilding. We are trying to build. And he also mentioned the fact about the 6th bowler, not having a 6th bowler, obviously because of the all-rounder that is missing. He said that they didn't have the option of a 6th bowler, which would be very important in the T20 format. Sorry, guys, I'm just making these things right over. But he also mentioned that.
So here's how I like to think. So if you're going to solve a problem, the first step you should take before you do anything else is actually recognize that the problem is present. So I think with regards to that, Boucher did well. Yes, we did miss our all-rounders. I think Andile and Dwayne, had he been fit, they would have added the much-needed balance we needed. But at the end of the day, we had to make do with whom we had, and the players we saw across these 3 games formed the best playing 11 that we could come up with. And unfortunately, it is what it is, and we have to move forward, knowing that our bowling came up a bit short, and it's something to work on in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Ravi, let me just get your thoughts. Have you watched any of the press conference? Anything that you picked out of it?
Good evening, gents. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry I'm a bit weary-eyed because I wrote a finance exam a few hours ago, so I'm a little bit exhausted, to say the very least. But coming back to the press conference, I watched it, and I have to say, much like you, gents, and a few others I've witnessed on Twitter, I also sympathize with Mark Boucher. It is a difficult position to be in. I don't think anybody goes into these tournaments or these series to go out and purposefully lose. And the reality is that the first 2 T20s didn't go so badly. Of course, we came off on the wrong end of it. But the truth is we played sublime cricket in that match, be it for 1 or 2 mistakes. But this last match was obviously a complete annihilation. David Malan made the most use of his opportunities there and sent a couple to the railway stand. So there's only so much you can do in a situation like that. If you're a batsman of the quality or caliber of David Malan and you're seeing it like a beach ball, it's very difficult to get you out. Coming back to Boucher's confidence, though, the only thing I would disagree with him on is the element of experimentation. You don't shuffle Reza Hendricks down the order and open with 3 different sets of opening pairs 3 games in a row if there's no form of experimentation that's occurring at that point in time. So, of course, there was experimentation, but I think what you're trying to say is that the circumstances is what led to the experimentation. But to deny there wasn't any form of experimentation this time around with such a robust squad is a bit of is kind of like a missed sort of concept, if you will. Because the reality is that they had to give as many players, new players, as much of a chance. And I think the very first question was, what positives can you take out of a 3-0 whitewash? I think the fact that they experimented, they gave new guys some new responsibilities as well, and I think some of them took the most out of it. Especially your pick there, Khalid, good old George Linda. I must say, he was the one guy I completely underestimated out of the entire lot, and I think he stepped up. There's no doubt about that.
And I like that Boucher actually acknowledged that. He said what the positives were, Faf and Rassi. Look here, I think Rassi and Faf as a middle order pair can be really dangerous in the future. And I think that we should build our team around them and build attacking players around them. I'm a bit concerned about the fact that we're giving, very, very old guys a chance. But okay, that's me just disfavoring the youngsters. Obviously, I'm a big Aiden Markham fan. I'm a big Yanaman Milan fan. I'm a massive Vian Libber fan. I'm a massive Marco Murray fan, and I would like to see those type of guys. Marcus Ackerman too. I would like to see those type of guys in T20 cricket. But let's get into the comments and the few comments that are here so far. One is saying, "Hey Harley, just tell me one thing: when will Yanaman get the game in the ODI series?"
First one is definitely the ODI number one, without a question.
Yeah, I think they will open up with Quinny and him.
Yanaman.
And if they really want to experiment, maybe they'll give Timba and Yanaman an opportunity to open the batting and let Quinny sit on the side. But I don't think that is a good plan, because we need our captain to get more games. Raul saying, Dylan saying he should open with Quinny in the ODI. Yes, Yanaman should open with Quinny in the ODI. I think that's a good idea, and I think that's what they'll do. I think Calverain will get an opportunity. I think Bjorn Fontaine. I think Clinton Steerman. When he said there's going to be a lot of, he said there's going to be quite a lot of changes. It's going to be quite a new, fresh side. That's what he said. And generally speaking, when you say a new, fresh side, it's not only one or two changes. It's normally a couple of changes. They're going to have to, obviously, with KG
Ali,
out.
You're going to make me say it. You're going to make me say it.
What?
You're going to make me say it. It's time for Miller time.
Yeah.
I got some heartburn just saying that.
Oh, it's a pity Lubabala's not here.
Lubabala probably fell off his chair. Miller time.
Oh, Lord. Here's a nice one. What is interesting is that Boucher clearly said it is different. It's a different squad. So why didn't they announce the squad separately from the start? So they only had a 24-man squad, right? So if I'm looking at it, that is, let me do my maths correctly. If it's a 24-man squad, that's only it's 12 players. So for them to separate the two sides, and then they got isolations happening, and then they had a player now in KG getting injured. So I don't know what the protocol was with the amount of people that were allowed to be in the squad, but we always knew that there was going to be two separate squads. We did ask, as journalists, for them to release a 30-man squad for the T20s and a 30-man squad for the ODIs, but I don't think they wanted to do that. I think that's probably for the sake of protecting their 11s and not giving too much away. You see, England is settled enough to say, look here, we're going to play this squad and we're going to play that squad. You bring whatever you want to bring. That's the situation at the moment with England. So I think that's the reason. I would obviously have liked to see and know beforehand, because then it would make our job so much easier to be able to pick teams, etc. Because now we're just sitting with thumbsucks. Like, for the fact that they didn't really tell us who the COVID-19 cases were, and they didn't really come out. I actually tried to figure it out myself. I went to all the training videos, all the photos that CSA posted, ticked the guys off the list. Ravi knows I'm going to be so tatty and crazy. So I went and did all of that so that I can check who the names remaining. And I had Andile and I had David on that list, on that final list, but I didn't, because I didn't see some of the other guys. I was trying to work out now, but who would have had possible contact with each other? And I was like, if they're from the IPL. Yeah, I was trying.
Where's David Miller? Where's David Miller?
Yeah, so anyway, we found out that that's the case. And if they had somehow communicated that with us, it would have been a lot easier, because you could have seen after the second ODI, the second T20, I put him in my squad, in my team, and we got a little bit of backlash about it, because they're like, but we know that they have, but I'm not going to make assumptions, because it wasn't clearly announced that they would have, that they were the ones that had COVID. Let's see what he says. Transformation policy, I think is what you want to say, has been made more aggressive, very difficult for Yanaman, Marco, and even Dwayne to get
Well,
games.
that's looking
So
far out ahead.
apparently, according to
Yeah.
ESPN, Cricinfo, and Fidaus Munda, I saw this guy Abai share the story. So according to her and her research, she's saying that the transformation targets are going to get a lot stronger. There's going to be 7 players that are black that have to be in every single 7 players of color in every single team over a period of time, of course. So I don't think those things have been confirmed, because when she asked Boucher about it, Boucher didn't confirm anything, and he said you have to ask the people above if that's going to be the case. I want to get to a stage, of course. I do obviously want to get to a stage where we can pick players on merit. Like, I don't think at international level should be the place where we should be transforming necessarily. But because of the lack of production of top quality players of color down from grassroots levels up, I think there has to be some sort of transformation happening at a higher level. But let's not talk about transformation. It's a show on its own. Mudit Madan saying QDK is the best batsman in the world. I would like Abai. What do you think about that, Abai?
Okay, I'd like to believe he's the best wicketkeeper batsman right now. I know England fans are going to give me a little bit of criticism because I think Josh Butler has been really good in the T20 series. Plus, he's been getting form in Test cricket in recent times. But I think Quinton de Kock comes out ahead when it comes to consistency.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm laughing. It's not at you, it's at Werner. So Werner, you mustn't make me laugh while Abai's talking, because he says, okay, I guess not everyone can be transformers.
I thought I was the only one who found that funny. Like, what is the ratio of Decepticons?
Bumblebee.
You know? Bumblebee for captain.
Yes, the Bumblebee for captain, 100%. Optimus can sit on the bench. He must be he must be the big hitter. It's too old now. He must be the big hitter. He can't come there in the middle order there. Optimus must sit on the bench.
Comment of the day, right there.
Megan Fox can join the team as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Will ABD be back? We had a whole debate about this, whether AB de Villiers should be back on our Sunday podcast. And I think a couple of other shows as well where we spoke about should AB de Villiers come back. I think in our review show yesterday, we actually spoke about that. I am of the belief that Boucher will no doubt go and call AB back before the World Cup. I have no doubt about it. If AB continues to perform the way he has in the IPL and in all the other tournaments that he's performing in, and he pulls out performances like he did this IPL, I think Boucher will ask him. He was open and honest about it in his press conference before. He said that if AB is playing the way AB is playing, there's no doubt that he's going to talk to AB. Now, we don't know if AB is going to accept, but I think, yeah, most likely he would with the relationship he has with Boucher. I was also saying, Khalid, who do you think will sit out from the top order that played in the T20s? I think Faf. And I know you guys are going to think that I'm crazy, but I think Faf will probably sit out in the ODIs.
I don't disagree there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're not thinking about Faf for the 2023 World Cup. I think they're thinking about him for the next two T20s, and they want him to obviously help out there. I don't think necessarily that they're thinking 2023 for him. I think that they'll probably trust Riza, they'll trust Yanaman, Quinton. I think they'll give maybe Temba Bavuma another run. Yes, Temba Bavuma another run, maybe in another role. I'm not 100% sure he will open in ODIs. Maybe they'll give him another role, maybe in number 3 position, and open up with Yanaman, and then bat Rassie at 4, or Riza at 4, and then Rassie at 5. Rassie was speaking a little bit about how he enjoyed actually batting at 5, even though he wants to bat further up. He spoke a little bit about that. And in ODIs, it might suit him a little bit more than in T20 cricket, maybe.
I went to his presser too.
Yes, you went to his presser too. Yeah, you can speak about that as well a little bit. What did you get out of Rassie's presser?
Well, he was more reassuring. Like he said that Quinton de Kock is he's a fantastic player, and he thinks he's going to be a great leader in the making. And at the same time, he says he's open to do whatever the team calls. So if it's batting higher up or batting number 5 or whatever it may be, he's ready to adjust and take on the role. I mean,
Mhm.
we've seen him in domestic cricket. He's open for a long time.
Yeah.
When he arrived at the Proteas, he batted number 3, number 4, number 5, and that's pretty much where he's been throughout his career for South Africa so far. And he says he's enjoyed the time he's spent, and he's looking forward to contributing more as and when he can.
Mm. Yeah, you know what I love the most about Rassi is that people like to talk smack about him and criticize him for batting slow and all of those things. The thing that I love the most about him is that his adaptability. Anywhere in the top 6, that man can bat, and he doesn't complain. He puts his head down and he just does his job. And I
Exactly.
think for a long time, since he's made his debut for South Africa, he's been consistently the same player. Instead of trying to change him and instead of trying to change the way he plays, we should build a team around him and build a team around Faf and Quinny.
Yes.
I think that's what we need to do. I think that's the core unit, and the rest have to put up their hands and say, look here, we want the other positions. So that's what I think going forward. It's easy, actually, Afzal, to talk about who can play and who can't play, with especially with the fact that KG is out and Dwayne is out. So now you have extra 2 spots that are gone that you can easily make. You can give some reassurances around who would start. So I think in the ODIs, I think they'll definitely give Glenton Steerman an opportunity. I don't think they'll bring him into a bio bubble and not give him an opportunity. It will be crazy if they do that. So I think Glenton Steerman will get an opportunity in the ODIs. I definitely think that John will have to, because he hasn't even played a game in the T20s, where I thought he might have been the person to play. I think that definitely they will go with a guy like Bjorn Fortuin this time around. There's still Keshav Maharaj to give an opportunity. So I think maybe Shamsi won't be seen as an ODI player. I think they'll maybe trust someone like Keshav and someone like Bjorn Fortuin in the ODI setup, and maybe George Linde as well. We'll have to see who they pick between
I
them.
was going to say, I think George might even get a call up for the first one day international.
It's going to
I
be
think
very
it's
interesting. It's going to be very interesting what they go with.
But gents, on a serious note, though, right? We're saying we could go without Faf. I mean, we've got plenty of talent there. But the truth is, the middle order has been relatively weak, other than the partnership the other day with Rassi and Faf. It has dwindled a bit in the ODI setup. Do you think it'll be wise for them not to go with Faf du Plessis? And then again, I say that reservation because I'm not sure what his availability, inverted commas, is for the one-day international game
Yeah.
at the moment.
We actually don't know what that availability is, to be
Because
honest.
he hasn't formally retired, if memory serves. I don't
No,
think
he hasn't. No, he hasn't. I think just Test cricket for now. He's retired from. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm not sure what they're going to think about that. But my point is that if our opening batsman can fire, so why I think that having maybe an attacking batsman to open with Quinton is actually a good plan or a good strategy is because if you have 2 attacking batsmen and one of them is a little bit not seeing the ball properly or is a little bit off form, like Quinton started off beautifully, but he had a Pavuma struggling on the other end, especially in the first T20. Then a guy like Janneman can take the pressure off you because he can also play an attacking game. So he can also bat fast in the power play and take the pressure off for someone like when if he's struggling a little bit. So it gives the guy at the other end a little bit more time to settle in. That's what I liked about the way Rassi and Faf batted. I know that they take quite long to get started, but ultimately Faf faced a lot of the balls in that struggling period and took a lot of pressure off Rassi, who needed to just hit the ball into the gaps and get some bat on ball, because Rassi is a slow starter as well sometimes, especially when he's rusty and he's not in full form. He's a guy that tends to like to set up his innings and then he lets go like he did. That's the real Rassi van der Dussen that we saw, scoring the way he did. But he needs an opportunity. He needs a partner on the other end that can take the pressure off him sometimes, and that's important at the top of the order as well. I think why Quinton and batted so well in the IPL is when you have a guy like Rohit Sharma that you know and you can trust at the other end, you don't have that stress of worrying. So you have a guy that can blast the pressure off you. Let's see what Werner says. Quinn needs to start converting his starts. Quick 30s are nice and gets us off to good starts, but that won't win us games consistently. Now, if Quinn is getting a quick 30 and another batsman on the other end is getting a quick 30 with him, takes the pressure off a lot. And that's what Pavuma started. But Pavuma lost his wicket at completely the wrong time, I felt in that particular game. And that was the problem. You need your opening partner to be able to see off at least a power play, at least, before you move forward. Abai, I can see that you're having some issues. If you need to disconnect and come back on, you may do so. Dylan says, let's not worry about ABD now. We have much more work to work on. You're 100% right. I'll rather let the AB de Villiers come into a settled team than into a completely broken team. But then again, if our team is settled, who does he replace? I don't want to see him come in for Rassie. I mean, the way Rassie's batting, I can't do that. I would never do that. I love Rassie too much. But I'm not the coach, so I can't, because that's why I'm a fan. AB will call Boucher 2 days before they announce the squad. That's gonna happen. It's already happened.
What do you mean call him? You'll send him a please call me, and then Boucher I don't even have time. I need to find it.
I think Verreynne should play ahead of Riza as he has been performing one. I think Verreynne should be in the side. I've been saying it. The boy's BMT is incredible, the way he thinks about the game. Yes, Abai, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Kyle Verreynne deserves the whole series. He got all 3 games when Australia came over, and he showed glimpses of his abilities at top level. And considering he's been in pretty good form in first-class cricket, might as well continue keep the ball rolling and give him opportunities. It's only going to feed his strengths.
Yeah, look at this. And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I feel that we as supporters, guys, and I'm going to ask all of us as supporters, I'm going to put out a pledge to you guys right now. We need to support our team during this difficult, rocky period. Chris wrote an amazing piece on the website. Go check it out on cricketfanaticsmag.com. We need to be patient with the side in transition. We can't be so harsh on them when they are failing, because, I mean, England went through a period where they were rebuilding too. They weren't the best team in the world for forever. I mean, they built up to this point. They had to play and search and check who they wanted to play and get the right combinations. We need to give them that time to breathe. We need to give them that time to make those decisions. Vern is saying, by the way, congrats on getting more views during stream, guys. I hope things will continue growing from here. I will keep you guys company in the comment section. Thank you so much, Werner. And we'd like you to come on more calls as well, because you gave some good insights before. I think Riza should be dropped in the next T20 series for Marcus Ackerman. I think Marcus Ackerman is such a good batsman. I think he's such a good batsman. And in T20 cricket, especially on a pitch like that, now, I haven't seen Marcus bat a lot against spin, only a couple of times in the Zanzibar Super League. But his deft touches, his cleverness, the way he thinks about the game, his small deft touches and stroke plays, he would have been great on that particular pitch. I'm sorry we lost Abai, guys. His connection is.
He had one more thing to say. We'll never know what that.
We'll never know what that one thing is that he wanted to say.
On the topic, there's a couple of guys that were mentioned as well in the comment section. You might be able to find it. There's been a lot of mention about Aiden Markram, and I'll be delighted to be seeing him tomorrow at Centurion. But the reality is that he's found tremendous form in the 4-day setup. And I think the plan, if there is one, is to keep him out of the one-day international side of things for now, and to prep him for the test series at the end of the year against Sri Lanka. I think that's a priority for now. Yeah,
that answers your question. I think that was the thought process. I think the thought process for Aiden was exactly that. That because he needs to get some form in test cricket because of the test series coming up. We know we're under pressure there as well. So I think that he needed, or maybe that was partly Aiden's decision as well, to say, look here, coach, I really want to get my place back in the test side. And I want to get back into the team. So maybe just let me sit here and get some form. Go ahead, Abai. What would you like to say about Riza?
Yeah, so I think based on what I've seen from Reza Hendricks in T20 cricket, I'm not exactly sure if it's good enough at the moment because if we look at his strike rate, he's striking below 120, and as a result, that creates more pressure for the batsmen around him. But at the same time, I feel a bit more open-minded when it comes to ODIs because I think he didn't properly make use of his chances leading up to the World Cup. But I think he's well and truly able to improve. And if we were to go to Aiden Markram, I think it's probably a blessing in disguise that he missed out on this T20 series and the ODI series because now he's improved his first class form big time, like 300s in 3 innings. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes against Sri Lanka.
Guy's too good for domestic cricket. Seriously, he's way too good. He comes back to the Momentum One Day Cup. He smashes 300s in like 5 games or something like that. He comes back to the domestic scene. Yes, he got a slow start to his games and stuff like that. And he didn't do so well in the first couple of games, but then 300s back to back. I mean, and against a decent bowling attack, say it's not like people want to say, yeah, but the bowling attacks are weakened. It's not that weakened when it comes to seam, really. Only with regards to Lungi and KG and them, they don't even play that much domestic cricket anyway. So he's batting against some of the top guys. I mean, Lazard Williams is one of the most underrated bowlers, I feel. I think he's such a quality bowler. He always keeps it on the spot. He's always testing the batsman, always allowing them to play. Fantastic bowler, I think. And I think Tando Ntini also one coming up. I want to ask you a question there, Ravi, because I know you're a big Riza fan. So just have a look about that.
Let me just do my hair like nicely and get my future life out. I'm just kidding. It's a bit of a jab at Riza, but no, I personally think he's a quality batsman. He's just had a string of bad luck. It's unfortunate that the T20 series didn't pan out as well as we would have liked for him, I suppose. But hopefully in the One Day International you'll find some form. He's again a classic example in the domestic setup. He's sublime and he does well, but unfortunately it didn't quite materialize this time around.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to answer some more questions, guys. Is there news on Klaasen if he's available for the first ODI? I think he most likely will be, but they haven't confirmed that. We'll have to check in the pre-match press conference, which will most likely hopefully be tomorrow. I'm hoping that there will be one. Don't joke about him, bro. I'm very serious about that. I'm Indian, but I like CSA because of ABD, so I desperately need him to play in the green and gold. Well, it's not up to you to decide that. If the guys want to joke in the comments, they can make jokes about them. I mean, I think that if anybody is hurt by what AB did and the way he retired, it will be South Africans first. And I know you guys love AB, and I know that how you feel about AB, but I feel that a lot of fans were hurt by the way he left cricket in South Africa and the way he retired. So please, guys, have respect in the comment section. Please do that. Don't fight with each other. I think this is a community that we need to grow together. Dylan Jansen, I think Riza should be dropped in the next show. You said it for Marcus Ackerman. You said that already. And then there's a guy spamming, bring AB back, please. We can't help get AB back. If you want to spam anybody, go spam Mark Boucher. Or Spark, or go spam the selectors.
It'll be amazing.
We can't get AB back for you.
Wait, what did that comment say? I think you just went through it just now. It was like the Proteas something.
Yeah. I'm bringing it on now. The Proteas can't have gun players like Josh Butler and Glenn Maxwell, but they can have AB, who is better than both of them. Rassie and AB can play together in the batting lineup. We all agree with that. But I mean, this AB talk is gonna get. It's gonna get old because there's nothing we can do about it. The more we talk about it, the only person that can change that is AB himself. So maybe go spam AB and tell him to come back. There's nothing we can do to get him back. I mean, we've done plenty of podcasts, plenty of conversations and debates about it.
AB de Villiers knows that the fans want him back. Or he knows that there's a divide. At least he knows there's a degree of interest for him to be back in the side. He's fully aware of it. You'll be foolish not to see it. It's like a neon blimp in the sky. He can see it. He can feel it. Mark Boucher contacts him on a regular basis, and so does Graham Smith. It's a very regular occurrence. It's only a matter of time until we see a resolution out of this.
Yeah. Well, Dylan says Riza has not done much for the Proteas time to move on. Find someone who can bat in the middle order like JP Duminy. JP Duminy, people sleep on JP Duminy in T20 cricket. Guy was proper. I mean, he is our best T20 cricketer of all time with regards to stats. Why the Pavlon isn't in the squad? That was shocking to me. But I think the Pavlon only came in because
He made his
guys.
debut last year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he only came in because there were certain guys not available. And I think one of those guys was Junior Dala. Junior Dala was going through a lot of injuries. And it was a bit weird that Darren de Pavlon wasn't in the squad. I would have liked to actually see him in the squad. I don't know what their plans are with him. So I can't really answer you on that. We actually have to ask Boucher that, actually. And we have to ask the convener of selectors why de Pavlon is not in the squad. De Pavlon and Marco Jansen could be picked in tests. This is a possibility. There's a lot of people that can be picked in tests. Before we can start talking about who can be picked and who should be in what side, the Proteas first need to understand what they want to do. Because at the moment, I feel there's a bit of a confusion. So when it comes to the T20, they are saying that they want to win the T20. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the best players and the best combinations with regards to experience and everything in the squad. But I feel that when it comes to the experienced guys by age and the guys that are youngsters, there's not too much between them. I don't think there's too much between a guy like Marco Murray and someone like Piet van Biljon. Now, I know I might get shot for that. And obviously people that love Piet van Biljon might say otherwise.
Please don't shoot Khalid.
We
like to keep him on the show.
Yeah, so with regards to Vian Libbe and a guy like Piet, Heinrich Klaassen, I think they are, you can see by the Mzansi Super League the way Vian Libbe hit staying around the ground. But if you want to say something, then you can jump in.
Yeah, so Piet van Biljon, he got picked because of 2 successful seasons in the MSL. But I think there's a big gap in quality between the MSL and international cricket. And as much as I think Piet is a good player, he didn't make proper use of the chances he got, and now plus he's 34 years old. So going forward, he wouldn't really be considered a long-term option. So I won't be surprised if the selectors look for more younger options like Marco Murray and maybe Vian Libbe.
Well, this is an excellent point, but sorry, before you say that, Ravi, I just want to update the guys. Yeah, Werner says he thinks the Pavlon might have been injured as he only returned in the latest Dolphins game where he got 10 wicket all in the match. That could be very much the reason. Sorry, Ravi.
No problem. So what I was saying is that, while I would tend to agree that this might have been the last chance saloon for Piet van Biljon, in a way, you kind of have to sympathize with the guy. I mean, he comes in at about, 5, 6. He didn't have much work to do. I think the first one-day international, he had the first T20 international, he had a few overs to play with. But, you can't really test your mettle in a situation like that if the top order are doing a relatively good job. In fairness, the game in Paul, I think, did he even play in Paul? I don't even think so. But the first one, he was definitely, they didn't really make the most out of it. He only had a few overs to go. So it's a bit of a challenge, I think.
Piet never really had a chance or full go to have an opportunity. I thought if they really wanted to give Piet a chance, bet him a little higher. He bats higher anyway. He bats higher anyway for his franchise. I mean, he's the captain and he bats 4, I think, for the Knights. So, or 5, 4, 5. He can bat anywhere. I feel he can bat anywhere from 3 to 6. So
I think Klaassen is fine at 6, and then you had Linda at 7, who was almost like a de facto David Miller.
In all honesty, I think that Boucher's thought process is about the batters. I think that his best 6, I think in his eyes, are in fact Bavuma, Kwani, Faf, Rassi, Muller, and Klaassen. I think those are his favorite 6, but obviously couldn't pick Muller. And I'm hoping that we get an opportunity to see George Linder because he's obviously proved himself. And when Andile comes back, I hope that doesn't kick Linder out to the side. I hope that Andile can bat 7 and then Linder can maybe bat 8. But then that closes off your options for seamers, which is a problem. And we have some of the best T20 seamers in the world at the moment, especially
But
when
that's
you
the
look at
thing,
the way they
Khalid.
performed.
But that's the thing, I mean, you look at a guy like Jadeja, for example, for India. If for some odd reason things aren't working out, Pandya doesn't come to the party for some odd reason, you got Jadeja to potentially come in at 7 or 8, and he could bash a quick 30 if you need him to.
Yeah,
I think Linda
and I
can do
see,
that and a whole lot more.
yeah, I see Linda in that role. I really do.
Mm.
I've seen him do it plenty of times with the Cobras, and I know it's different in the international cricket, but what I liked about Linda, and you look at certain guys, man, the way they approach it, he never looked scared. He's coming up against some of the best players in the world, and he never looked scared coming out to the middle. He never looked like he was scared of facing those batsmen, and I think that is something that you need to look into. Besides just the stats and besides just what they're doing on the field, is their attitude on the field as well and their mentality. Yes, Abai?
All right. So when you were mentioning George Linda, I immediately recalled Faf du Plessis' presser, and I remember him saying that George Linda he doesn't normally bowl this early in the innings, and to see him adapt so well to his sort of newish role is great to see, and plus he's a very capable finisher. So now we've potentially solved two problems with one player. Even I know I'm saying this early, but then again, I feel optimistic about this.
Cool. So I'm going to leave the rest of you guys with this particular answer. And that is from Dylan again. And I'm loving Dylan's comments today. But he said, if AB doesn't want to represent this country, then honestly, I don't want him to. It's supposed to be an honor. And he's 100% right that it should be an honor to want to play for South Africa. You shouldn't be allowed to pick and choose when you want to play. It should be an honor. And I think that if he really wants to play for this country, he should put up his hand. I understand that maybe for this series he couldn't because his wife gave birth, of course, to another child, and obviously, so so obviously that's.
So, I mean, Virat also, I think they're expecting as well. I mean, who's next? Is Labuschagne next? Is Steve Smith going to have another bundle of joy?
Yeah, and Abai just rectified us now and said he opted out of the BBL too. So I think that's the reason. So
Family
I have
first.
to push my thing to saying if he doesn't put up his hand to play against Pakistan or against Australia or against any of the teams before the World Cup, then I don't think that we should consider him for the World Cup. I love AB to bits. He was my favorite player for a very, very long time. But if he doesn't put up his hand and say he wants to play for this country, then I don't know.
This whole story of phoning the day before that they're about to jump on the plane, that's not on. I sympathize and agree with the fans around that. That's the height of disrespect for me. If he really is serious about it, they need to have a proper forum. But for now, family comes first. He needs to see to his family. Did they just give birth or they're expecting? I'm not quite sure, but that has to take priority for now. And 2021 is a new year.
Mm-hmm. So Vivek, I'm going to tell you some of the left armers that I know about besides Bjorn Hendricks, of course, like you all mentioned over here. I know that there's an Andre Berger, there's Akona Manyaka. There are two guys at the Cobras that are left armers. I know that Marco Jansen, also lefty, and his brother Duan is as well. Abai, Abai, is there anybody else that you can think of besides the guys that I've mentioned?
Let's see. I know. Let's see. Andre Berger, Marco Jansen. I'm trying to think here. No names coming to my head right now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, those are the guys that I've mentioned, and I think those are the ones I can obviously also think of. Akona Manyaka is another guy from that also bowls left arm. But are they ready? I mean, from a experience perspective, Bjorn Hendricks right now is the most experienced, and at the moment with regards to left arm seam, Marco Jansen is a good option, but I feel that he needs some time. He needs some time to settle in, play some domestic cricket. I don't think you can put Marco Jansen straight from S19 straight into into a 11 of the Proteas. So there needs to be some guys who need to obviously put up their hand as bowlers. But I think when it comes to the bowling side of things, we know who our best bowling lineup is. I think that they know. You can see that we're struggling to fit all three in We're struggling to fit Andrich, Lungi, and Kagiso in the same team when we are playing two spinners. So we are struggling to fit them all in. So at the moment we are quite lucky. I mean, I would have liked, and he knows it because he's a buddy of mine, but I would have liked Mikey Cohen to stay in the country, obviously, and not move and push for price for the international side, because obviously that is something that I want. Stephen Tate is another option over here. I can't believe that he was called up initially, but obviously they were sent back home after everything was clear with regards to the COVID cases. So alas, that's unfortunate with regards to that, but I would really like to see. Tian Kukamud himself is a talented player. So thank you for joining the show as well. Final thoughts, guys? Oh, yes, sorry. Randa Swat, quality player. I love him. He's close buddy of mine as well. Yeah.
Rowan de Swart, let's see. Well, based on what I've covered so far in the 4-day series, I think he's going to be a fantastic prospect. So he can bat well in the middle order. He can fill in with overs. He's more than capable when it comes to bowling. So I think, I think the future is bright for him. Check out his ESPN Cricinfo stats. They are absolutely amazing. He averages 80 something in ODIs or list A, sorry, and 40 in mid 40s in first class cricket. So I think, tremendous start and a tremendous player.
Ravi, there's a question from Thomas for you.
Wow, that's $1 million question. And I know people went onto Twitter and didn't treat this situation.
Mondes Ndeki said it on our review show.
He said it. I've heard him say it. I actually took a break from finance, thank God, to listen to that. Everybody is different. I think people have this sort of image that this is what a captain's supposed to be. And I've seen some really quiet, very reserved, successful captains out there, especially in white ball cricket. So, it might seem that, the guy is disinterested. It might seem that he's not engaging with the players. But I can tell you that Quinton de Kock is by far one of the more respected individuals in that team. And his input certainly carries a lot of weight. The challenge that I have is that it's not so much on Quinton alone. I'm looking at it as an entire system. I felt the elder statesmen in the team, which now includes Faf and Rassi, the only critique I have of them of the last T20 is that I didn't see much engagement from them to Luther Sopamlo, any of the other players that were getting a bit of stick. And that, I think, it's a reflection on the team and not the captaincy. In fairness to Quinton de Kock, I think the first two games was sort of lost by like a kitten's whisker, really. It was like a very marginal, at the last minute, England pulled it off. And kudos to them for that. That's why they're one of the best teams in the world. It's not like we're playing against a development side. This is England. Darwin Milan is the number one T20 batsman in the world.
Yeah, I think it's a bit harsh to. I think it's a bit harsh to criticize Quinton so early. I mean, he's only had a couple of series as captain. It's the same thing that I said when Aiden Markram was captain of the one-day side against India, the best side at the time. I mean, it was a bit. I think it was a bit harsh. I see Dex is asking about Corbin Bosch. Corbin Bosch is a talented player, but I think he needs to get some more time for the Cobras first and really stake his claim over there before he gets an opportunity. I think you made Corbin Bosch, yeah. So guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Ravi, don't go anywhere after I remove you from the stream, but thanks a lot for coming on the show. And I really enjoyed your insights. Thank you a lot for for all the hard work you're doing as well. And thanks a lot for Ravi for doing everything that you do.
Thank you and take care, guys.
Take care, guys. See you. Okay, so guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to obviously like, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I didn't put up the banner because you know what to do, but like, comment, share, subscribe for all future videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the magazine. It's free. So download the link, the latest magazine, by clicking on the link, or the link is in the description as well. If you want all updates on the England series, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. There's an England series tab on the top that you can just click on, and you'll get all of our articles, etc. with regards to that. If you have a business, even if your business is offline and you're trying to get sales online, even if your business is offline, There's a free video on this channel to help you do exactly that. So it will teach you everything that you need to know and how you can do it with Cricket Fanatics Magazine. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. And we'll be back tomorrow again with a review show for our daily show. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, everyone.